Last week, your Chicago Grookies got destroyed by a Tera Excadrill, leaving us with a 2-4 record going into the final 2 weeks of the season. If we want any chance of making playoffs, we're going to have to win these next 2. So let's take a look at my opponent this week. We are taking on CJ Jensen, coach of the Phoenix Incineroars, who have a very scary team led by Tera Zarude, which is an absolute demon. At +1, this thing can just rip apart my team, but the offense doesn't end there, as they have Weavile, Enamorus, Jirachi, Flygon, Chandelure, who can all hit incredibly hard. Jirachi can also run support sets, whether that be Thunder Wave, Rocks, Screens, anything like that. They also have Blastoise, who can either run a Shell Smash set or a Rapid Spin defensive pivot set with Flip Turn. And finally, they have Muck, Electivire, and Dunsparce. Taking a look at our team, first up we have Primarina rocking the Rindo Berry. This is so that we can take a +1 Power Whip from Zarude, because that Pokemon is just an absolute threat into our team. We're rocking Moonblast, Hyper Voice, Substitute, and Calm Mind. I went for Hyper Voice with Liquid Voice because we do have Rotom in our team, and we wanted to be able to bypass substitutes by going for a sound move, but Sparkling Aria removes burns, which I did not want to happen, so we're rocking Hyper Voice. And Substitute and Calm Mind are just great moves because we do force a few switches on this team. Things like Flygon and Weavile do not want to stay in on us at all, so we're able to just get that up for free. And then we have enough speed just in case of any speed creeping, and we put the rest into our special defense. Speaking of Rotom, that is coming in our second slot, holding the Choice Scarf this week, as it just looks very good into their team with both electric and fire moves. They do have things like Flygon, which do resist both of our stabs, but we have Will-O-Wisp, hopefully to get a burn off on either something like that, Weavile, or even Zarude. Rotom has enough special attack to always KO a Zarude with Overheat, and to it KO a max HP Blastoise with Volt Switch. And then we have enough speed to outspeed a Choice Scarf Chandelure on the off chance that that comes to the battle. And finally, Trick is there in case we need to give anything a Choice Scarf, whether it be a support Jirachi, Chestnut, or something like Zarude or Weavile that are trying to set up with Swords Dance. In the third slot, we have Lycanroc. Dusk is a lead set with the Focus Sash and Stealth Rocks. Stealth Rocks look really good into their team, especially things like Weavile, Enamorus, and Chandelure, as their only removal is Blastoise, and Goldango can come in on that very easily, allowing us to keep our rocks up on the field. To round out our set, we have Endeavor, Accelerock, and Substitute. So the idea is lead this turn 1, get our rocks up, and then use Substitute to whittle down our health enough to get a big Endeavor off on one of my opponent's Pokemon, and maybe even pick it off with a Accelerock. There were certain situations where I would want Taunt over Substitute, but I needed that just to get my health down enough in case they didn't knock me down to my Focus Ash, meaning my Endeavor wouldn't have done as much damage. In the fourth slot, we have Cyclizar, who is very important this week to keep hazards off the field, not only for Rotom, but for one of our other Pokemon we have later on the team. We have the heavy-duty boots so that we aren't taking that rocks damage ourselves, and we're rocking a pretty standard set: Taunt, Knockoff, U-Turn, and Rapid Spin. Just going full support, max HP, enough speed to outspeed everything that's not Weavile, and then we just put the rest into defense. Up next, we have Goldango rocking the Cobra Berry. This is so that it can take a hit from either Zarude or Weavile. I do have to be cautious, though, of Blastoise with Dark Pulse, because this is my main Blastoise check, but we cannot afford to lose our Cobra Berry because Zarude is just that big of a threat to our team. We have enough defense to be able to take hits from Zarude and Weavile. I believe even if Zarude is Choice Banded or at +1, we still take a knockoff with our Cobra Berry. And we're rocking Make It Rain, Hex, Thunder Wave, and Recover. They have a lot of Pokemon on their team that are really fast that really don't appreciate being slowed down, whether it be Zarude, Weavile, Enamorus, Jirachi, so Thunder Wave felt very valuable here, especially since it's going to boost the power of our Hex, especially when paired with Will-O-Wisp from Rotom. And finally, we have Gyarados. Last week was our first week using this as a Tera Captain. I didn't really get to mention it since there was no team builder, but this is just a amazing addition to the team because it just puts on so much pressure onto my opponents. This is our win con this week, so we are rocking the Lumberry in case we get in front of Jirachi and we want to try to set up. We do get that opportunity. We're rocking Waterfall, Tera Blast, Fairy, Earthquake, and Dragon Dance. This hits the entirety of their team, and with one Dragon Dance, we will outspeed everything, and then Moxie can just make us snowball once we get one KO. The really only thing that wants to swap in on this is maybe Blastoise, but even then, it doesn't take the hits that well, especially when boosted to +1. So I'm hoping that we can win the game with Gyarados this week. It's done a lot of work in mocks, so I'm hoping for the best. That is our team, though, for Week 7. If you enjoyed, drop a like and subscribe. I want to give a huge shout-out to AP, BP, Tom, Matt, Kyle, and especially Tog, because me and him mocked for like 4 or 5 hours total, just put a ton of time into this matchup, so I hope that we can come out on top. And once again, thank you to all of you for helping me out. I really, really appreciate it. And finally, check out my opponent's channel. I will have it linked down below. They make some awesome content, and they're a really cool dude, so please, please, please check it out. Without further ado, let's get into the battle. Okay, here we are with the battle. We see Weavile, Blastoise, Chandelure, Flygon, Zarude, and Jirachi. Very unexpected Chandelure bring. I was not expecting that at all. I didn't think it looked too good into my team, but that doesn't really throw me off too badly. And then we see Flygon, which can be annoying for my team, but I don't think it's going to be a huge deal here. Let me just get everything entered in. We already know our lead, so we don't have to worry about trying to figure anything out here. I just got to make sure my calculator is up to date because I didn't have that ready. I just hopped into this. I really think that Gyarados can be a demon in this game. Like, I think it's going to be very, very good strong. So, okay. I'm ready to go here. I didn't refresh the page. I'm not ready to go. Okay, there we go. Lycanroc Dusk. All right. We will lead with this. We know what we want to do. We want to get rocks off immediately. And then we want to hit something with a big Endeavor. And if Chandelure comes in, that's totally fine because we bop it. Let's go. Good luck to my opponent. We both need a win this week because I don't think either of us are currently in playoff contention, but we both have a chance to be. I need to win this game and the next game to make it, though. So definitely a little concerned, but feeling good. He's Tera Fairy Zarude. Let me write that down here before I forget. Okay. Let's get into it here. Oh, man. All right. So let's see Lycanroc into what? Flygon. So we're going to find out immediately if this is Choice Scarf. And I almost want to Endeavor on the off chance. I can also go Rotom if I'm that worried. But I think at the end of the day, just getting my rocks up for the Chandelure and Weavile is valuable. And if he is Choice Scarf, locks into Earthquake, we just go Rotom. So I think this is fine. We could also go Gyarados, but I think going Gyarados this early would be a mistake. Even though it looks so strong. It looks so strong. I love Shiny Flygon. I don't think there's anyone who doesn't like that Pokemon's Shiny. It is so clean. Anyways, get focused here. What would be scary? I think... Okay, so he's Choice Scarf. Alright, boom. Choice Scarf. That's huge. So, barring Weavile, we're faster than everything. So we can just, like, go for the sub to get our health down as low as possible to click a big Endeavor. And this is Jirachi. So this will be really big to be able to get an Endeavor off on this. I would be super shocked if he is dual Choice Scarf, especially because his team's already a lot faster than mine. So let's go for a substitute here. We might just see opposing rocks. We could see screens. Those are like the two big things that I'm expecting here. Okay, they are not Choice Scarf, which is good. And we are just at a range where we're not going to be able to... We're going to be at like 24%. And they go for a Future Sight. Okay, so let's just get an Endeavor off immediately here, because we're going to chunk something down to about 50%, which will be absolutely massive. So, boom. We got this down to like... Oh, we got it down to like 30%. Okay, hell yeah. And then we're going to take the Future Sight next turn, right? Yep. So, do I just Endeavor again? Part of me just wants to. I don't think there's a downside to clicking it, because a Cell Rock's not going to do much. Let's just click Endeavor again. Okay, so nothing happens there, but that's fine. So we've seen Stealth Rocks, and we've seen Future Sight. And he goes for a Shadow Ball here. That's going to break our sub, and then we're going to go down to the future site. But that's fine because we chipped this Pokemon down super nicely. So I'm not even upset about that. Jirachi KOs Lycanroc with future sight. Okay, that's totally fine. I can go... I don't know anything about this Pokemon set, though, which is kind of an issue, but what if I go Cyclizar? Knockoff from Cyclizar would kill. I don't want to go Rotom because of the Stealth Rocks. So I think, yeah, I think we just go out into Cyclizar here. And we'll get a big hit. If they choose to swap into something like Chandelure, that's totally fine, because we'll just hit that with a big knockoff. So they might predict me to go for Rapid Spin here, which I do need to get one off at some point because I do not appreciate... Oh, he's Colbur Berry. That's not going to die, then. Colbur knocked off. And he just goes for another future sight. I don't have a Dark type on the team, so that is fair game. Makes sense. I'm going to just choose to Rapid Spin here. We're going to get rid of these rocks, and then on the follow-up, we will U-turn to kill, and we can go into something like Goldango to take the future sight. I think that... that pivot makes the most sense. If they go Chandelure here on the Rapid Spin, great play. But they have to fear another knockoff. So, but I want these rocks gone. Jirachi is... And having it this weekend is really good because there's potential that we get rocks gone for the whole game, which at that point, that pretty much means that Rotom can continuously come in, and Rotom is so strong in this game. I do have to be mindful that Flygon is faster than me, though. But if I'm able to get a Will-O-Wisp off on that thing, that'll be huge. I have to assume probably Flash Fire Chandelure if I had to guess, just to be able to take those overheats. But let's see what they want to do here. Sorry if you heard that noise from my water bottle. It's been it's been doing that all day. Okay, so they choose to stay in, which is great. We get rid of the rocks. Hopefully they didn't go for rocks again. That would be unfortunate. No, they just choose to U-turn. So we know they're full set here. And then whatever comes out is going to catch a U-turn. We're guaranteed faster than everything, including Weavile and Flygon, because of our Rapid Spin boost. What is, like, Weavile's Ice Shard doing to this, though? Weavile. So if it's Boots, which we will find out, we take 40 to 48, and if it's Choice Banded... we still don't die to an Ice Shard. And a U-turn will do about half. Actually, probably more than half. 49 to 58. So, I want to say we see Blastoise, though. Which, Blastoise would honestly be the perfect Pokemon to come out here, because that allows us to go Goldango super freely and take this future sight that's about to hit us. Because it hits us at the end of next turn. So we'll be able to U-turn. I think no matter what comes out, we want to U-turn. Especially considering that Jirachi is still alive. So they're not Boots, and unless they're Choice Scarf, we are faster than this. So we're gonna hit a massive U-turn. We won't be able to go out into Goldango though. We'll have to go Primarina, but I don't think that's a problem. So we're gonna have this Pokemon down to like 25%, which is just massive. Not Boots. 75%. Yep, we take that. Huge. And their Life Orb. So this is going to just have them in range of death. Ice Shard. Okay. I'm going to just go Rotom here. We are Choice Scarf. And what would I go into on a Flygon here? Oh, I forgot about the future sight. Shit. That did a lot. I was just talking about it, too. And I could have very freely went Goldango there. And I could have pivoted. That's on me. I didn't. Okay. So I either Overheat or I Willow on the Flygon swap. But I don't think you want to save this, because this is just going to die to rocks. Unless you want to try to use Blastoise as a, you know, rapid spin with it. I need this Pokemon alive. So I need to see if I get a burn off, what's a knockoff doing to me from a Life Orb set. I do live if I burn it. And if I Volt Switch on Flygon, what do I go into? I feel like I would go into like Cyclizar at that point, but I don't really like that play. So I am going to Will-O-Wisp here. I feel like he wants to preserve this. I don't think you let this go. That's fine. We live this hit. It sucks that we're going to be super weak, but it's fine, I think. I don't know. Okay, so Triple Axle is actually good for us, because we take that a bit better than we take Knockoff, and I think Life Orb plus burn damage should KO them here. Yep. So, Rotom KOs Weavile with burn damage. Okay, that's huge, because that makes it so that Gyarados is just looking so strong. So strong. I wish I would have remembered the future sight, but it's alright. If they bring, they know I'm Scarfed now. So we probably see Chandelure come in. We could see Blastoise, and even if it's like a jungle healing Zarude, we could see that. I think if that comes out, we know it's jungle healing / Lumberry. I wouldn't be shocked by Lumberry at all. I don't hate my positioning, but I don't love it. This is definitely a bit of a weird spot to be in. They don't have Stealth Rocks up, though, so Rotom can still come in and out a bit. Flygon just really limits what it wants to do here. Okay. So we just see big Blastoise come out here. Now, I want to go Goldango to block the spin, but if I take a Dark Pulse, that is super bad for me. So I kind of want to go Primarina here and try to set up a Calm Mind or a Substitute. What is more important to me at this point? Do I need my Rocks up? I don't think I need them up. I don't think I lose that much by, like, losing them. Because, like, I don't think I'm worried about Chandelure between Cyclizar and Gyarados. Even if it's Choice Scarf, I don't really mind it that much. So I think I'm going to go Primarina here, because it's just a better overall positioning standpoint than going Goldango. And if I lose my Colbur Berry, it opens me up to Zarude too much. So, is they just choose to flip turn. So this is probably best case scenario, because if Zarude comes out, we have a Rindo Berry, and we can hit a massive Moonblast, which with the Tera, it's only going to do about 40 to 49%, but that just doesn't allow them to too freely set up. And then we can just go Goldango and KO with a Make It Rain on the follow-up. Because we have the Colbur, we can take a +1 hit. So, I don't hate this. If Flygon does not want to come out, Chandelure does not want to come out, and even if Jirachi comes out, it's going to let off a Future Sight, if anything, and then just die. So, yeah, they don't like this Pokemon. They do not. And if Chandelure wants to come out and try to go for, like, a Specs Energy Ball, like, maybe that does a lot. But, I mean, we have Rindo, so let me check Chandelure. Choice Specs Energy Ball. If we weren't running Rindo, wouldn't KO. So they just go Flygon here. Okay. So we see Flygon here. It is Choice Scarf. And Earthquake would do a good chunk. Do I want to try to swap here into Rotom on like an Earthquake? Or do I just go for... I feel like just going for Moonblast is pretty free here. Do I need Rotom in this game? I think it's worth going the Rotom. Because between Flygon and Chandelure, this Pokemon's not as good as I expected it to be. So I think we take the gamble, and we see what they want to do, and we go Rotom. Because if we can avoid an Earthquake, that's massive. Because then we can just go for a Volt Switch and keep up momentum. Because we're just going to, like, they're not going to keep clicking Earthquake against me. So they just choose to U-turn. That's fine because we take this hit and we're going to get a Volt Switch off. So that worked out. And had I stayed in, that probably would have been a bit better. But they probably would have just sacked Jirachi or something like that if I had to guess. Here, though, it's hard to say. They could go out into like something like Blastoise and then double right back into Flygon. And so I'll have to decide whether it's worth Volt Switching or if it's worth going for a Willow. Because if I can catch Flygon with a Willow, that's huge. But then I have to be cautious of like Flash Fire, Chandelure, which I don't think is a huge issue for me realistically, but I at least, you know, want to acknowledge it. Yeah, he does not... He doesn't want to take a Volt Switch, I don't think. Like, maybe we see Zarude. I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities here. I feel like it might be worth getting a burn off just so that, like, even if it's on Blastoise. Okay, it is Chandelure. So we can't go for the Willow here. I think we just have to, we have to Volt Switch, and this is not Boots. Okay. Not Boots. So I don't think you bring this into double. Because that, like, that did so much damage. They don't appreciate that, you know? So... yeah, so we will Volt Switch here. How much is this going to do? If we are Rotom into a Chandelure, we're going to find out right now. That did over 25%. I think that's got a little bit of investment on it from what I am seeing here. I go one of these two, and I think I just pivot out through Cyclizar, and then Knockoff's pretty free. They don't want to lose an item on anything. So let's just go this. So how much HP am I at? I'm at 208. Oh, and they Pain Split. So that was probably the best switch-in we could have made then. If I would have went something like Primarina, that could have been problematic. So let's knock off here. If I had to guess, they're going to sack Jirachi. I think that would make the most sense to me. Because Chandelure does not take this hit. Pain Split. So they're not sure. What is your item? Not Boots or Choiced. Maybe it's like a Resist Berry. That's like the only thing I can think of. Because otherwise... yeah. Like, I would have ran Boots on this. Because especially with how many hazards I have. But this is fine. Like, I'm not going to complain. And we know their Blastoise isn't Boots either. And we know it's most likely not Shell Smash since they showed Flip Turn. I don't think you would have both of those on a set, as they just sack Jirachi. Cyclizar KOs Jirachi with Knockoff. Okay. If Zarude comes out, we go for a Taunt always, by the way, because Bulk Ups are terrifying. But now Rocks are off the field for the rest of the game, which is huge, as they just go Blastoise here. So we are going to U-turn out, and I actually think it might be worth... I know before I said I wanted to try to keep my Rocks up, or like I didn't care about my Rocks, I should say. But now I kind of want to have them stay on the field because they are really chunking his team. So I feel like I go out into Goldango this time, considering I went Primarina last time. So let's go for a U-turn here. Does about 10%. Let's see if I can find out anything on this Blastoise from that damage. Blastoise, Blink Set into Cyclizar U-turn. It did 10%, so you are defensive. Yep, okay. I'm going to go Goldango now. Huge. Okay, that worked out. So I want a Thunder Wave now, but I don't want to see Flygon hit the field on that. So that's what concerns me here. Anything else would be great, but it's that one Pokemon in particular that I don't like. If Flygon comes out on that, though, what would I do? Do I sack Rotom? Do I go Cyclizar? Do I go Prim? I don't know. Because Cyclizar is good in this game, I think, because it checks Chandelure. Not that Primarina doesn't, but I can heal up. So I think I Thunderwave, and if Flygon comes out, we go out into Rotom. I could also go Rotom if I'm worried about a Dark move here, because that would put us in a pretty rough situation. Like if he goes for Dark Pulse. So, you know what? We're going to Thunderwave once. Let's see what happens. We miss. That's what happens. Okay. They're probably going to Flip Turn here. No, they Surf. So they don't have Dark Pulse, which is good. Okay, I'm going to Make It Rain now. What's Make It Rain doing to Flygon from this? Goldango into Flygon. Choice Scarf. Make It Rain is doing a chunk. So let's click it. Let's click it. If they stay in, that's fine. It is what it is. Because this is Max HP Blastoise with, it's Fizz Dev. So if we do this, it's still taking 21 to 25% from this. And then I can just recover up on the next turn. Okay, that's fine. If they Flip Turn, I think that's probably the worst case scenario here. But they just choose to attack me. Okay, and we will just recover here now. We are -1 special attack. I need to keep that in mind. So we've seen Surf, Rapid Spin, and Flip Turn. If they had Dark Pulse, this would have been a lot worse for me. Okay, so they're just choosing to stay. They still could Flip Turn, I guess. But it seems like they just want to hit me as much as possible here. Ah, they tried to Rapid Spin there. All right, let's go for another Thunderwave then. Because I guess they're not scared of it. Goldango! Come on, man! What are you doing? Buddy. Alright. Alright. What do I want to do here? Because I don't think you stay in again. I just missed 2 Thunder Waves. You're gonna go Flygon, right? I don't want to recover yet. I'll Make It Rain again. I'm losing every call in this game. I need to quit trying to read. It's not working. I have a -2 special attack now. I'm putting myself in a horrible position. Okay. It's not good if I stay in here. It's not. I need to switch. Rotom just allows Flygon to come in on a Volt Switch. I feel like that would just be, like, so clear. Let me go Primarina. It's that or I go Cyclizar, but I think I go Primarina. No, let's go Cyclizar. I have an idea. So I'm going to go Cyclizar here on another water move. I'm going to U-turn out and then go back out into Goldango so that I can still wall this. I can still wall the Rapid Spin, and then I'm just not at the -2. So. Okay, and now we just U-turn on this. Because he seems like he really wants to get these hazards off the field. So he's at like 30%, and that's being generous. Okay, let's go back out into Goldango here. Let's see a Rapid Spin. Let's go. All right. Now we're going to recover here. And I can just let a Hex off after this. I don't have to try to predict in Thunderwave anymore. Because Goldango clearly didn't want to paralyze this Blastoise. Ooh, tries to Mirror Coat me. Okay. So this Hex, yeah, this Hex should kill here. So let's go for it. What an exchange of turns. This was kind of crazy. But it's all right. It worked out. It worked out. Even though Goldango tried to not let it work out. Okay, and they do swap here now. And this is Zarude. No, this is Fly. Okay, never mind. I'm wrong. We now know the Blastoise full set, though, which is nice. And we get this down to about 50%. That did a lot of damage. All right. What is Cyclizar taking from this? So if we look up Flygon, Choice Scarf against Cyclizar. Earthquake can 2-hit KO, but at that point he's locked in. You never outrage here, ever. And if he U-turns, I'm faster than everything that wants to come out. So I think Cyclizar is just a really good pivot here. He's U-turned thus far, so if they just go for that again, I'm not going to be surprised. But Earthquake would also make sense, because Goldango's a huge problem right now. Stone Edge. They crit. That's fine, though, because we take the follow-up. Do I want to knock here? Because then what do? I just go Goldango on the follow if they stay in. So we'll just knock here. Removing an item's valuable, and Goldango's not going to take too much from that hit, so that'll work out really nicely for us. I like this positioning right now. I have to be so mindful of Zarude. That's why I swapped out Goldango earlier when it was at -2, because I don't want Zarude to come in and be able just to bulk up in my face. That thing is so scary for me. It's not even funny. But Cyclizar was a last-minute addition to this team. I originally had Gliscor on there for the first, 2 days of my prep. I was trying to spike stack, which, I mean, it would have worked in this game, to an extent, probably. But Cyclizar has just been so good thus far in this game, just swapping in and out and in and out. All right, as they leave the field here, let's see what wants to come out here. This is Chandelure, so this is going to go down here. For sure. Cyclizar, KO. Oh, it was Cobra Berry, so we're not going to KO this turn. We're going to KO on the follow-up. KOs. All right, I guess I'll stop writing then. All right, let's just go for another knockoff here. Because if something else comes out, they're going to lose their item, you know? Okay, so Cyclizar KOs Chandelure with knockoff. Look at Cyclizar coming in here, picking up 2 big KOs. All right, and it was Cobra Berry. They were worried about a lot of knockoff, I guess. Which, I mean, makes sense. I have a lot of Pokemon that give dark coverage. I have this, I have Gliscor. Not that Quillfish would have came, but there's that. There's Crunch on Lycanroc, knockoff on Conkeldurr. So I guess it makes sense, yeah. Again, if Zarude comes out, we just go for Taunt, and we let this go down. If Blastoise comes out, we go out into Goldango. And then if Flygon comes out, I think we just sack Rotom. I think that's kind of where I'm at. If he goes Flygon, he's going to be looking to KO this, and Earthquake or Dragon Move would be the only 2 ways of doing it. I think Earthquake's a little more free for them. Kind of. Okay, so this is Flygon here. So U-turn will not KO me. So they're going to have to go for something here if they want to. So I'm just going to knock off again. Or no, I said I was going to go Rotom. That's what I said I was going to do. Never mind. Scratch the knockoff play. We're going Rotom to sack it. And I think this Flygon's at about 45% at this point, give or take. So I'm liking this positioning a ton. I still have a full health Gyarados in the back, which is just ready to go nuts. It's ready to be let out. And I'm going to let it out against Blastoise. Next time Blastoise hits the field, I don't give a shit about my rocks. I am sending out Gyarados. So he Dragon Claws here. So I am going straight Primarina, and I'm setting up a substitute. Don't even have to think about it. Give me a sub. Yeah, give me a substitute. Because you go Blastoise here, you don't risk going Zarude on a... Yep. All right, wait a minute. Primarina. Primarina's about to do its fucking thing. And you're not going to be able to break my sub. So I'm going to call Mind once. Just so I can get a little bit of oomph behind hitting Zarude. And yeah, losing my rocks, not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. Okay, so let's take a look. I want to see what, how much that was doing to my substitute. I'm curious. Not that I'm not going to go for another Calm Mind here. That would be greedy. I'm just going to attack, but I'm curious if he can break it with another one. No. All right. We now just click Moonblast. If they flip turn here, something's dropping. Nope, they just rapid spin again. So this is not breaking our sub. So we're going to have a sub to hit something else with. Let's go. Let's go. All right, Primarina. Prim KOs. Or first, let me Flygon KOs Rotom with Dragon Claw. Prim KOs Blastoise with Moonblast. Okay, so I feel like they're going to go Flygon here. Nope, this is Zarude. Okay. Whoa, whoa. Don't want to accidentally Tera there. That wouldn't be good. I'm not supposed to be a Tera captain. All right, Zarude. And it's Tera Fairy into Primarina at +1. Moonblast is always 2-hit KOing this. So, let's go for it here. They're going to Terrasilize into a Fairy type here. The thing is, Power Whip does not KO me. Because I have a Rindo Berry. Which is huge. Because Flygon can't win this game choiced. So he just goes for the Tera Blast here. Makes sense. Let me check that actually, because I'm curious. Tera Blast. That won't KO us. No, so Prim is going to KO this Zarude. Like 100%. Unless they're Assault Vest. That would be the one situation. Which, let's see. They're not. Okay. Yeah, and we're going to take the Power Whip here. And if they're choiced, they're locked into Tera Blast here. And choice banded Tera Blast is only doing half. Okay, awesome. So that's game. Prim KOs Zarude with Moonblast. Awesome. And now we just pivot out into Cyclizar so that we can see what this Flygon wants to do for its final move. Because it can't hit everything. And at this point in the season, I need my differential. Like, I need it. So I'm going to go Cyclizar and see what they want to do. And we can respond accordingly. We have a Stone Edge resist, we have an Earthquake immunity, and we have a Dragon Claw immunity. So no matter what here, we're totally fine. And they go for Stone Edge, so we go out into Goldango and we're good. I just needed to see what it was locking itself into. That's all. So this is probably going to be Goldango's final kill. So I'm going to write that down. Goldango KOs Flygon with Make It. And Make It Rain should KO here. And we're Fizz Dev, so this isn't going to do much. Yeah, we're totally fine here. So we're going to end this game on a nice 4-0, which we needed so badly. But great game to my opponent. I definitely was shitting my pants all week about this Tera Zarude. That thing was so strong, especially after a bulk up. It could, depending on it being Adamant or Jolly, it could KO Primarina through its Rindo Berry at +1. And it could, if it was Adamant, it could KO Goldango through Cobra Berry. Like, it was absolutely fucking a menace. So I'm very glad that I was able to beat through it here. If you enjoy, drop a like and subscribe. We're getting very close to 300 subs and I want to hit it by the end of the year. And check out my opponent's channel. I will have it linked down in the description below. But that's about all I got for you guys. Peace out.